Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a really cool concept that I like to work with, I like to look at for myself, and this is your tarot card of the year. I'm going to show you the formula of how to calculate this. I'm going to go over why I think this is important and why I think it's a useful tool. So really quick, I want to shout out this book, Archetypal Tarot by Mary K. Greer. This was kind of where I got the idea to start doing this more. I got this book a couple years ago now, and I honestly purchased it on a whim on Amazon, and I'm so glad I got it because I went through, she gives you so many different formulas, so many different things to calculate, so many different ways to utilize the tarot in your own personal understanding of self. She talks about birth cards. Those are based off your date of birth. Things relating to your name, all the letters in your name, all these different things are so interesting. But today I'm going to focus on the one that I find the most useful for my personal practice. I also like birth cards. If you want me to talk about birth cards, let me know and I'll make another video talking about birth cards. But today we're going to talk about card of the year. And that is something that was in this book, so I wanted to shout it out really quick. If you don't already have it, Archetypal Tarot by Mary K. Greer is a really great book for kind of utilizing the tarot in a different way outside of just tarot readings for the self. This is utilizing the cards and the archetypes that live within those cards in your life. If you're interested in learning how to calculate your card of the year and why I think this is important, keep watching and let's get into it. Okay. So let's talk about the formula really quick. It's really simple. So I'm going to use the example of Halloween day this year. So that's going to be my example calculation. So what you're going to do is the month plus the day plus the year. And that will give you a number. So we're going to use my example here. So month being October, which is 10. We're doing Halloween, so that would be the 31st. And the year is 2025. Okay. Now, we're doing the year that we're currently in to calculate this, not your year of birth. That's what's important. It would be your date of birth, but instead of putting the year you were born, you would put the current year of your birthday to calculate this number, okay? That's the big difference between this and birth cards. Okay, so get my little calculator going here. We're gonna go 10 plus 31 plus 20, 25, and this gives us 2066. So obviously, this is not a tarot card number. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna take these numbers and you're going to add them all together. 2 plus 0 plus 6 plus 6. Obviously, you don't need to put 0. I'm really weird and just, I like to include all the numbers. It makes me feel better. I don't know. Okay, so obviously I could just add this myself, but because I have the calculator here, we're going to end up with 14, but let's just plug it all in. And boom, 14. Okay, so that is your card of the year. So 14 is Temperance. Now, the cool thing about the book I shouted out at the start of this video, Archetypal Tarot, is that she has a whole section for card of the year. She shows you how to calculate it, and she gives you a write-up for each of the cards. So if you have that book, you can calculate this for yourself and then go and read in the book what she has. If you don't have that book, if you're familiar with the tarot, you probably know what each of the cards mean well enough to figure this out for yourself. Hi, I am coming to you in my post-recording editing phase here, and I had a bit of a realization while I was sitting here and editing that I didn't really touch on the Temperance card as an example. I showed you how to calculate a birth card, but I didn't go into what our result we got from our example calculation was. So I wanted to do that really quick. I also realized that I didn't go into if your calculation after you add the month, day, and year together, you get that answer, and then you add each of those numbers together from that result. If your next number isn't a tarot card, like a Major Arcana card number, what you do. So, like how I got from my calculation there, I got 14, which was temperance. Let's say that that wasn't the result I would have gotten. And let's say I got 25, for example. 25 is not a Major Arcana tarot card number. So, what I would do at that point is, again, I would add the two numbers together. I would go 2 plus 5 gives us 7, which would be the Chariot. That would be the card of the year in that instance. So I hope that that clarifies that. I realized I didn't include that or mention it, so I just wanted to touch on it really quick. As for the Temperance card, the way that you would look at this, and I'm not going based off of the book that I recommend and mention in this video because I don't have it in front of me right now. I'm just editing. I don't even have Temperance, the card, in front of me right now. I'm just going off of, what's coming to mind for me in this moment. And this is honestly kind of a good example or a good exercise to kind of show you how you could interpret this, because you absolutely don't need a book to give you the answers to this. It's just a book that I really enjoy and it's nice to have. That's why I recommend it. I'm someone who likes having resources like this, but it's not necessary. So, your own knowledge and understanding is a great tool and you should use it. So, with Temperance, I think about the Temperance card personally. It's a very spiritual card. Um, it's all about bringing things into harmony, bringing things into balance, into flow, integration. There's lots of feelings of hope and promise. There's a sense of a fresh start even with this card, which is something that I don't readily think about, but when I'm visualizing the card in my mind right now, I'm thinking about that rising sun, which is a symbol of a new day, a new beginning. There's a certain sense of promise that that gives to the card. You have the irises in the card that symbolize hope. You have the archangel standing with the two cups with the water passing between the two cups. That's that symbol of flow and integration and the melding of different energies, as well as that symbology is also played out with the 2 feet, one on land, one on water, of the archangel. So that shows that blending together of different energies as well. This card is all about bringing things into balance and harmony in the life. Oftentimes I feel like it comes up when there's a lack of that playing out in the life. So if I were to give a very easy example, I would think of this coming up possibly for somebody who maybe, let's just use the example, works too much. And every other aspect of their life suffers because of all of their focus pouring into just work. The Temperance year for that person may look like starting to acknowledge that, recognize it, and actively working to bring more balance and harmony to the life, bringing more flow to the life, and finding that when you aren't creating such walls and such resistance to every other aspect of your life, you find that there's more flow and more ease throughout every aspect of life. That's just one example of how this can play out, but something to think about. I just wanted to give you a little example that I realized I didn't even touch on when I was recording. So just wanted to drop this in here as hopefully a helpful little tidbit, but back to regular scheduled programming of the video. This is honestly one of my favorite things to do for my friends, is to calculate their card of the year and talk to them about, like, let's talk about this card. Let's talk about this theme. How do we think it's going to show up in your life this year? If I do like a reading for them, I'll just kind of include that as well. It's something I like to talk to people about because I just think it's a fun little thing. But I'm not trying to minimize it when I say it's a fun little thing. I actually find the card of the year to be extremely powerful, and I'll explain why. So, when I learned about this, I went in and I calculated my card of the year. And so then I sat down and I looked back at every card of the year I've had for the last several years. And when I tell you that each of those cards was so on point with the themes of those years, it was honestly kind of crazy. What I think is interesting about this is that because the tarot is comprised of all of these archetypes, they're very thematic in nature. And what I have seen looking at my own personal birth cards, cards of the year, is how these archetypal themes become overarching themes throughout my life in that year. I think that that is such an interesting thing. I don't want to get into my personal stuff here, but just kind of take my word for it. I find that looking at your card of the year can be effective going into it and being aware of it, but I honestly find that reflection is most powerful with this. When you look back on the last year and you go, what was my card last year? Wow, look at how that theme was really present for me. That's what I think is really powerful about this. So that concludes today's video on tarot cards of the year, how to calculate them, and why I think this is a useful tool. I hope you found the video to be insightful. I hope you try this for yourself. Go ahead and calculate your card of the year for the card you're currently in. And every time your birthday rolls around, look back on the year you just had and calculate the card for the year ahead and see where you think it might go. I think this is a really helpful tool, and it gives you the ability to connect with the tarot a little more in a different type of way. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already and you're interested in tarot and spirituality and things within that realm, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and join along on the journey. Thank you guys again for watching, and until next time, take care and be well. Bye.